My beloved, listen closely, this message is not random. It is sacred, intentional, divinely timed. Start this now and do not turn away, for heaven has stirred something for you that cannot be ignored. In realms unseen, your name is resonating. It has been spoken in chambers where power resides, in conversations cloaked in secrecy, behind doors meant only for those of rank and rule. But there, amidst the echo of political agendas and national strategies, your name entered the room not quietly, but with a weight that turned heads and silenced noise. They didn't just mention you, they felt you. They spoke of your presence like one speaks of weather patterns that shift the air, of your essence as if it were a mystery unraveling before them. They described your style not as fashion but as a kind of prophecy stitched into fabric, each color, each thread, a symbol of something greater. They couldn't fully articulate it, so they commented on your clothes, your walk, the quiet force that surrounds you. They said you move like someone guided by something older than time, like one who carries answers to questions yet to be asked. They marveled at how your simplicity commands attention, how humility crowns you in silence, how your appearance speaks truths louder than speeches. Your garments, they said, hold stories. Your presence disrupts what is ordinary. And yet, you do not seek to stand out, it is the divine light within you that causes the world to stop and stare. You were dressed by heaven, not for fashion, but for assignment. You walked into spaces unaware that eyes followed, not out of vanity, but out of awe, sensing something sacred wrapped around your being. Your name was uttered in that room with a reverence typically reserved for legacies, not strangers. You, who have known obscurity, have now become a topic of conversation in places built to erase those like you. And still, you remain unerasable. They don't know your history, but they feel your purpose. You unsettle systems not through defiance, but through the sheer authenticity of your existence. They tried to place you in categories, but you slipped through their labels, because what you carry cannot be confined. You are walking with the oil of generations, the prayers of ancestors vibrating through your choices, your restraint, your grace. Someone in that meeting paused, their voice uncertain, and said, "They look like someone who's been through fire and didn't burn, like royalty forged in silence." And that pause was holy. It marked the moment heaven turned a key in a lock you didn't even know existed. You've been observed not with suspicion, but with reverent curiosity. And what they said about your style was merely a doorway to something deeper. They were feeling what words failed to grasp, glory wrapped in human form. You became a mirror they weren't ready to face, a reflection of what they lost, of what they feared, of what they secretly longed for. Your name lingers in their minds not because of strategy but because of spirit. You awaken something dormant just by being who you are. They are studying your photos, watching unseen footage, reviewing moments you never knew were captured, not to judge, but to understand. You confound the systems. You weren't groomed for power, yet you carry it with a softness that disarms. You didn't network to be noticed, yet your presence cannot be ignored. What they feel is the power of heaven using your life as evidence that purpose doesn't need permission. They are building a file not of suspicion, but of observation, because what you radiate defies logic. They are trying to track a move of God in human form and they don't even realize it. Your story, your silence, your scars, they are the sermon. You carry deliverance in your eyes, truth in your silence, and peace that pierces pretension. This is not coincidence. You didn't randomly arrive here. Every tear, every rejection, every unanswered prayer was arranging this unveiling. The heaviness in that meeting after your name was spoken was not confusion, it was conviction. You are a reminder that grace still walks this earth. You've walked through hell with heaven in your stride. You thought you were invisible, but heaven was preserving you. And now, what was hidden is being heralded. Rooms are opening without your knock. Invitations are coming without your pursuit. Someone who ignored you before is now searching for you with urgency. They don't understand it, but their spirit does. This is your time, not by merit, but by divine choosing. The words spoken in secret are becoming movements in public. The doors opening now are not random, they are results of obedience, of staying soft when the world wanted you bitter, of speaking life when death surrounded you. What was overlooked is now the blueprint. You carry the beauty of brokenness turned to brilliance. And heaven is making sure the world sees it. Archangel Michael whispers, "It is time. No more delay. Open your heart." Something has already begun, forces have been released, timelines shifted, atmospheres altered. You are not average. You are an anomaly wrapped in destiny. You don't speak loudly, yet your presence commands the room. You don't crave attention, yet the spotlight bends toward you. What they saw in you wasn't style, it was sanctuary. You walk like someone who's seen angels, like someone who carries the scent of sacred places. The people in that room felt something ancient when they heard your name, they felt purpose. They felt prophecy. And the documents being written now bear your initials not for trial, but for triumph. There is a shift occurring and you are at its epicenter. You thought it was delay, it was divine timing. You thought it was rejection, it was protection. You thought you were being overlooked, you were being reserved. What's coming will require your full self. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for being seen. Your uniqueness is not a glitch, it is the assignment. And as more rooms speak your name, as more eyes look for you with wonder, remember that you are not being elevated to be admired, but to be activated. What they admire is the residue of the sacred. What they seek is the source. And you will answer, not with ego, but with light. You are becoming the evidence of a realm they've forgotten. Your very existence is a sermon, and your walk is a testimony. They will continue to talk, to watch, to wonder. But you, my child, walk forward in peace. This is your confirmation. This is your sign. What heaven started is now unfolding and no power can reverse it. You have been mentioned in high places for a reason, and this moment is only the beginning. They watched you walk into rooms like you carried a secret you hadn't spoken yet, like each step pressed a silent seal on the ground beneath you, and yet you thought you were merely arriving, not knowing the earth recognized your footfall before you even got there. This is not about ego, it's about alignment. It's about how heaven has been arranging the cosmos, how destinies have been threaded into the tapestry of time just to lead you to this precise moment. Your name has been rising in sacred circles, etched into timelines that ripple backward and forward, touching generations you'll never meet, and still you've remained humble, thinking the glow around you was incidental, not realizing it was intentional. This light wasn't built overnight, it was forged in your silence, in your obedience, in the days you said yes without applause, in the moments you kept going without evidence. That's why what's coming next won't make sense to the world, but it will make perfect sense to heaven. This is not a coincidence, this is convergence. This is what happens when divine timing meets divine identity. Your style was never about fashion, it was about function. Your garments became symbols in realms you couldn't see, like spiritual codes recognized by watchers, like declarations draped across your shoulders that even you couldn't interpret but angels could. And so when you stepped into that ordinary space, it became extraordinary, because you were carrying more than cloth, you were carrying callings, dimensions, futures. The people watching couldn't describe it, so they described your look instead. But they weren't seeing colors, they were seeing clarity. They weren't seeing patterns, they were seeing prophecy. It was never just about what you wore but about what wore you, honor, mantle, covering. You were clothed in something eternal. And now the attention you're receiving isn't fame, it's fulfillment. Don't mistake the weight of this moment for pressure, it's placement. Don't shrink. Don't doubt. Don't retreat. You are walking into an era where doors open at your presence not because you demanded it but because destiny cannot deny what has already been declared. You've become a moving tabernacle, a carrier of presence, a living message. That's why the stairs have shifted from curiosity to conviction. That's why rooms hush when you enter, not out of fear but out of recognition. They see a glimpse of something beyond you, something through you, something they longed for but couldn't name until now. And so the ripple continues. More meetings will include your name. More files will pass across desks bearing your initials. Not because of politics, not because of networking, but because of prophecy. The very atmosphere around you is charged now. You've entered the zone of favor where laws bend and timelines accelerate. You're not skipping steps, you're being pulled by purpose. You're not avoiding the process, you've already endured the hidden furnace where character is shaped and identity is sealed. Your presence is a result of that fire, and now you carry the smoke of glory. People don't know why they pause when you speak. They don't know why they feel peace in your silence. But it's because you've been anointed to carry what the earth forgot it needed. You are not a performer, you're a preserver. You're not a symbol, you're a signal. You are a reminder of the original design. And in a world drowning in noise, your stillness is thunder. In a world obsessed with appearance, your authenticity is revival. That's why this season will not be like the ones before. You're not circling old mountains. You're stepping into the center of your assignment. Those watching from afar will begin to draw near. Invitations will come not from effort but from evidence. The evidence of divine presence. The evidence of endurance. The evidence of integrity in seasons when compromise would have been easier. You will receive messages you didn't expect. Support from people you never imagined. Rooms will open where your name was once laughed at. It wasn't rejection, it was preservation. It wasn't delay, it was precision. Because now, the rooms are ready. The tables are set. The atmosphere is prepared. You've been called not just to influence but to intercede. Not just to be seen but to shift. Your mere presence will break patterns. Your words will realign hearts. Your steps will map out new blueprints for those coming behind you. And the government meeting was only the beginning. Higher circles are coming into awareness. The sound of your destiny is echoing into places where only power was once recognized. But what you carry is purer than power, it is presence. That's what unnerved them. That's why they whispered. That's why they stared longer than they meant to. They were witnessing someone who didn't climb to be seen, who didn't posture to be validated. They were seeing someone who was sent. And being sent comes with its own authority. One that doesn't need permission to enter, because it was assigned before entry was ever required. You are marked. Not with the ink of man but with the oil of heaven. You are seen. Not by eyes of flattery but by eyes of recognition. You are chosen. Not because you were flawless but because you were faithful. And this is only the unfolding. What's next will stretch your understanding. It will draw upon everything you've carried in silence. It will require both your grace and your grit. And still, you will not need to force it. Heaven is orchestrating visibility not as a performance but as a necessity. The world needs what you carry. Systems will bend to accommodate what you release. Not because you are loud but because truth cannot be contained. And you've become a vessel of that truth. Watch how the ones who once overlooked you now seek your counsel. Watch how the rooms you couldn't enter now send for you. Watch how favor wraps itself around your footsteps like a shadow that cannot be shaken. This is not just about you, it's about legacy. It's about a lineage of light coming through one willing vessel. You. The same one who once questioned your worth, who once prayed through clenched teeth in the dark, who once walked into spaces hoping to go unnoticed. Now you will be noticed not for attention but for alignment. Your light was never meant to be hidden. And now heaven refuses to let it be. There are scrolls unrolling with your name at the top. There are strategic placements unfolding even in this moment. Decisions being made that will affect your future are already leaning in your favor. That's why you've been feeling the shift in the atmosphere. That's why rest has felt different lately. Your spirit has been preparing for what your mind has not yet grasped. And soon, your eyes will see what your soul has known all along. You are called. You are covered. You are chosen. And the whispers will become declarations. The private observations will become public affirmations. The government is not watching you for threat, they are watching you for transformation. Something about you feels like change. Feels like newness. Feels like God moved. You are not what they expected, and that is exactly why you are being elevated. The old systems don't know what to do with you, because you were sent to create something new. You are the disruption wrapped in dignity. You are the change that walks softly but carries centuries. You are the voice that will shift atmospheres not through shouting but through stillness. Your next steps will not be random, they will be orchestrated. The shoes you wear will tread on new ground. Holy ground. And your wardrobe will continue to echo what your spirit already carries: light, clarity, intention. Do not question this word. Do not fear the attention. Heaven has declared, it is time.